Come, let us explore timeless awareness meditation for beginners. Our lesson is drawn from the 23rd passage of vast expanse of the diamond-like mind, composed many, many, many centuries ago by the great reformer of Buddhism, Vajra. It's going to begin with a rather opaque root text, and then we're going to shed some light on it with a bit of a commentary together. Time past and time present are mindfulness's authentic condition that is complete in its own place. Likewise, its path is the same. This is its very nature. And now the commentary. Many people are raised to feel that Yang's religious or irreligious patriarchy is a good thing. I know I was, maybe you were too. And when some of these become meditation teachers or authors, they cling, They cling ever tighter to their rigidity and fear and superstition and controlling tendencies and elitism and competitiveness. And as such, they happily redefined mindfulness, confusing it with the rigidity and control of concentration that actively shoves away, let's try this again, that actively shoves anything away that is not here, that is not now. They push away memories of the past, fantasies of the future, and confabulations that are a blend of both. They shove away emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings. They push away anything but that which could be physically seen, heard, felt, tasted, or smelled. They push away anything but that which could be physically Okay. Practicing renunciation only in the most superficial of manners. In doing so, they exhaust their medial prefrontal cortex, increasing their vulnerability to many of the symptoms of depression and triggering their amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. All their effort and all their philosophizing and all their pains only serve to drag them further and further away from the peace and love they long to experience and firmly believe in which direction they're marching. But they're not. Time past and time present. But that is not what the Buddha taught, and that is not what Vajra taught. They taught of the authenticity that notices vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. And an authenticity that notices all sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, and scents, as well as notices all, notice here, okay, that perceives all. That notices all emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings, be they external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque, convenient or trying, present or past. This three-ring circus we call life is messy. It can be inconvenient and even scary. But that could be the price of authenticity. Time past and time present, or mindfulness is authentic condition that is complete in its own place. The Buddha's path isn't easy, is it? Take two. The Buddha's path is easy, isn't it? We just passively cooperate with our sympathetic nervous system that's wired to notice things vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. By silently and mentally reciting the verb watch each time we breathe in. And we placidly cooperate with our parasympathetic nervous system that has evolved to physically relax and mentally release by silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb rest each time we breathe out. It's always the same, whether that which we notice is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring. Glorious or grotesque, messy or neat, convenient or taxing, past or present. And no matter how different each of these seem as we breathe in, as we relax into our out-breath, each of them could fleetingly feel a little less tantalizing, less permanent, and less defining. Each of them could, at least momentarily, smack of the non-graspability reminiscent of a vast, empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand. Likewise, its path is the same. This is its very nature. And as we harmonize with our autonomic nervous system, that gives us access to the awareness, release, peace, and love of our Buddha nature. A world could seem fragrant yet void, flavorful yet void, sensual yet void, resounding yet void, appearing yet void. Emotive yet void, intending yet void, cognizant yet void, recalling yet void, imaginative yet void, lucid yet open, and authentic yet free. Time past and time present, or mindfulness is authentic condition that is complete in its own place. Likewise, its path is the same. This is its very nature. Come, let us harmonize with the natural mindfulness and meditation that are our birthright. One moment. Please bear with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Come on here. 4. Oh, right. Let's hit copy. And let's return over here. And let's hit paste. Make sure this fits okay. Good. So what we're going to do now is not pray to a real or imagined celestial entity, because that's just indulging our duality of pushing and pulling. But by chanting together we harmonize our bodies and breath and brains, which can be useful, especially as we watch the rise of fascism. So together, let us lovingly wish. May all delight in sitting, watching, and resting. May all delight in sitting, watching, and resting. May all delight in sitting, watching, and resting. Having completed our opening lesson, it's time for us to now shift gears. It is Yoda Monday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Sunday Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. For the remainder of this morning's live stream, let's play with the latest iteration of very easy meditation practice text, or sadhana, if you're nasty. So here's a quick synopsis of this morning's lesson. Sturgeon's Law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks, that 90% of meditation teachers and meditation authors think it's much better to be rigid than flexible, fearful than loving, superstitious than rational, controlling than laid back. 90% of these goony goo-goos think it's a wonderful idea it's better to be elitist than egalitarian, cryptic than lucid, competitive than cooperative, cruel than kind. These are the people who tell us to spend hours and hours every day contriving focus and forcing analysis. But doing that, excessively doing that, is not sustainable. Focus and analysis are not marathons. They're sprints. They're intense and short. And if you sprint more than you should, if you run a marathon like it was a sprint, you will injure yourself. Similarly, when we overfocus, when we overanalyze too intensely, too much of the time, we exhaust our prefrontal cortex to the point that we begin presenting with symptoms of depression and triggering our amygdala, which is the seat of both anxiety and aggression. And let's face it, no one says, there's not enough aggression and anxiety in my life. I've got to increase it. No one in their right mind does that. Now, someone trying to manipulate you might try to push you into that hypersuggestible state, but they are no friend. Fortunately, neither the amygdala nor the prefrontal cortex constitute the entirety of our central nervous system. Case in point, every time we inhale, we are already wired by evolution to automatically access our sympathetic nervous system found in the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Remember, we're doing this passively and randomly, noticing whatever comes up, whether that which comes up is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. But that begs the very important question. What do we do with all this stuff that we notice? Every time we exhale, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord, we are already wired, or it's wired, to support physical relaxation and mental release to such a degree that that which we noticed during our previous inhalation, could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and even less defining. So we have a choice. Are we going to cooperate with our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, or do we compete against them by over-focusing and over-analyzing? One of the benefits of cooperating with our autonomic nervous system, that the ancients called our Buddha nature, is that it calms our anxiety and aggression and stimulates our anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, the root of compassion and love. But remember, we are to cooperate passively. How do we do that? Simple. Every time we feel our body breathing in, silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb watch. Every time we feel our body breathing out, silently and mentally recite the verb rest. Well, what's so passive about watching and resting? That seems kind of active, doesn't it? Well, here's the funny thing. We're already wired to watch. We're already wired to rest. Then why are we mentally reciting these labels? Because it helps to align our intention. Helps to align our intention so that rather than competing against the process, we are cooperating with it. That's what we mean by getting in our own way, resisting the natural processes that have evolved to protect us and to enrich our lives. So let us sit as sustainably as we realistically can and practice together. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window if you're watching live, or the comment area if you're watching a replay. If you're watching live, rest assured I check for questions about every 13 minutes or so. Let's dig in. Excuse me. Pardon me. Oops, wrong button. Sorry, kids. As we gently breathe into our guts, we could silently and mentally recite Watching the Play of Mind. As we feel the breath leave through our nostrils, silently and mentally we could recite Resting in its Nature. As we breathe in, as we breathe it deep into our guts, silently and mentally we can recite the verb watch. As we breathe out our nostrils, silently and mentally we can recite the verb rest. Let us use this chant to harmonize our bodies, our breath, our brains around this loving wish. Not a prayer to an imaginary entity, but simply a loving wish. May hold the light in sitting, watching, and resting. May hold the light in sitting, watching, and resting. May hold the light in sitting, watching, and resting. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class as well as group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.